In this video, I will be discussing how we're going to unwrap our shoe model now that we have finished the low poly version. And so, for one thing I did is I cleaned up. I got rid of anything. I just kind of cleaned up any of the loose ends here. As you can see, we have so we have our low poly, and then what we'll be doing is using this low poly, we're gonna wrap it, and we're gonna be using this to make our high poly version. So we're just gonna start off with see, we can actually just select our tread, and then want to isolate this with the Alt Q. Okay, and so now what I'm going to do here is I would like to first I'm going to check my smoothing groups, and what I want to do is select this loop here, and I'm going to grow that so we can just get everything except for the bottom, and that will be our smoothing group number 1. Now if I hold Control I will make that our smoothing group number 2. Okay, so now we have 2 smoothing groups and a hard edge on the bottom. So when I now apply, so first I want to turn off my polygon, just select this. Now I apply my Unwrap UVW modifier, and you'll see I have, and actually I may have already unwrapped this in a previous, I unwrapped this in a previous video earlier on. So what I'm going to do though is I'm going to actually I want to flatten this. Let's see if I can reset the UVW just that way we can get rid of, so I can show you how to do it from the beginning. Okay. Well, the idea is, so once you make the smoothing groups, what you can do then is go to your peel, and then there's some explode options. There's one that's called flatten by smoothing groups. So what it's going to do is take each smoothing group, and they know, the software will know that's where to make the seam. So how we flatten the earlier, just a moment ago, we flattened this to make this zone smoothing group. It made this part smoothing group. It knew to divide that 2 times. So I'm going to flatten by smoothing groups, and as you'll see here, we have our one smoothing group here, and then our second smoothing group right here, which is this portion. Now what you do need to do, because this is a completely connected, you need to find a spot on the shoe to break up that line right here, or this one shape. Otherwise, if I were to turn on my checker pattern, you can see how it looks really nice and then it gets really crazy in the front and the back. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to turn off this. This is my edge selection. I just want to select this edge here, and what I can do now is just hit break. So under explode, break, and then I'm going to select everything, and I'm going to so this one, we know this one's good. We're going to select this portion, and we're going to flatten it, straighten selection. So now you will see we have so we do have a little bit of a long polygon selection here, but now it is one large strip opposed to the strip that was connected. So I'm going to now select everything I have, and go to my tools and relax this out. And I'm going to crank up the relax all the way, and we'll hit start. And you'll see some changes. The big thing is you want to make sure this toe is starting to get the correct shape we were looking for. And So now that it's relaxed, we might be able to come back in here again and then flatten that out like so. See, now we have a little bit better uniform pattern there. I might want to try one more time to relax this again. Okay. You're gonna just have to try different, you might want to relax by edge angle, might want to relax by the polygon angle. So each one will give you a little bit different results. Just kind of keep messing with that until you get something that you like. I think this is the result I'm looking for right here. Is the checker pattern follows along the curvature of the shoe, and now it's two real clean shapes. You got 1 and 2. So later on, as you can see the checker pattern here, we can. I think this will be a really easy shape to bake a high poly texture. So once you have that complete, you can just right click here and then convert to Evo Poly. And now I'm going to end the isolation. I'm going to actually just, so now I will just simply turn that off, the visibility, and that tells me that I am complete with that particular element of the shoe. So the next item we need to address will be this the toe. And so one thing to keep in mind is when we do have these modifiers on it right now, and I don't think we will need this modifier on there. Here's what we want. So we're going to just delete the open sub div. And each one might be a little different. We want it to be nice hard edges for the low poly. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select select the toe, and I'm going to hit Alt Q. I'm going to go into isolation mode. I'm going to unwrap this item here. So again, the process I take is I go to my polygon selection. I'm going to loop this here because that's all. I want this to be one smoothing group, and I will then apply under the smoothing group. Let's see, polygon smoothing groups. I want to apply smoothing group 1, and then I'm going to hit the Control I, and now I want this to be smoothing group number 2. Okay, so now you see we have this nice hard edge, but everything that's a part of smoothing group 2 looks smooth. And this will be really great when it comes to breaking it up. In fact, I want this corner right here to be hard, so if I look here, I just want just the bottom selected, so go and select just like that. Oops, make sure you don't accidentally select the bottom. I want to deselect all the bottom polygons, so everything. So I want the bottom polygons to be the only ones selected right now, and I will make that smoothing group number 3. Okay, and yes, I think then I don't know if I need. No, I don't need that other. I don't need the top or those corners on the different smoothing group. I think we should be pretty good as is. So now that I got my smoothing groups situated, I can go to my modifier, my unwrap UVW modifier, and I will go to my peel. Oops. And so sometimes you'll go peel and it won't give you anything. And the reason, I'm just going to convert to poly. The reason is because I don't think that I had. Let's see. Yeah, I did not have it selected. So you just want to make sure it's selected, and then you can go to your unwrap modifier, and I will go open up the editor here. I usually just do that by hitting peel, but you can also open it up here where it says that UVWs. Now what I'll do is I'll select everything. And I will go to my flatten by smoothing groups again. And now you can see we have all of our seams that we just made. Those are all now there. And with all those selected, I can go to my tools and I'm going to my relax. I'm going to crank this up and let's see what happens here. Okay, so it looks like that one's, the toe's almost there. It's having a little trouble getting perfectly flat. I do want, I'm going to turn on my select element toggle. I want this one to be flat, so just rectangle that. And actually I want all these seams, or these, this trim all to be flat, so I'll rectangle that as well. Okay. Now I'm going to try to peel this again. It's just with my quick peel, and then I'll relax it one last time and see if this relax does any better. Crank that to 1. Okay. And I think this seems to be giving me a better result. So now I'm going to do that. I'm going to select everything I have here. And I'm going to pack it. I like to do pack custom. I just feel like it's a nicer pack. And I had to, the settings I do is the non-convex padding. I usually do the 0.01 and then have everything checked off. And I pack in there. So you'll see I have all my items here. I'm going to just make sure. This shape, it does look a little strange, but keep in mind it is kind of a swooping shape. But the big thing is that the checker pattern is nice and square-ish, so it looks very even, looks very clean. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select this. I'm just going to pull this to the side because later on when I start combining stuff, I would like for these to all be, I like for this to be really easy to access. Okay, so that one's done. Convert that to oval poly, and then I will end my isolation and then hide the toe since I just finished it. And I'll move on to the next section, which I'll just do the sides real quick since these are easy. So Alt Q to go to my isolation mode. I'm going to select all that. Polygons, and I'm going to do a smoothing group. So you can also do auto smoothing. So if you select everything and hit auto smoothing, it'll go by this angle. So anything that is greater than a 45-degree angle change between two polygons or an edge, it will automatically know to crease that edge. So that can be really helpful when you are working with a more complex shape. So now that my smoothing group has been set, I will now go to my unwrap UVW, and I'm just going to unwrap this. Like I said, this one's going to be really pretty straightforward to unwrap. Do make sure that you have it selected. Okay. If you don't have it selected, then you won't get anything unwrapped there. So I'm just going to select this all. I'm going to relax this a bit, see how it's looking. Okay, it already looks like it's pretty much done for me. So as you hear, this texture, this just looks nice and square, and it's exactly what we want. I will note that the texture, the size of the checker will change from each item, but we'll make them all the same density as far as texture density. So we aren't going to have some checker patterns huge and other ones small. We want all to be pretty uniform unless there's like a certain circumstance. But for now, we'll worry about that as a last step. So I'm going to pull this one to the side. The last one I pulled right here, so I'm going to pull that over and up. I just want to make sure it's out of the way and not overlapping with the previous one. If it does overlap, it's not a very big deal. Okay, so, and that isolation, hide it. Now I'll go to my other side, select this one here, Alt Q. I'm going to select all the polygons, auto smooth that. My modifier list, but before I do that, I want to make sure to exit the selection and just select that without the polygon selection. So unwrap UVW, I'm going to peel it. It looks pretty good as is. Just do a quick relax, see if there's anything, clean up a little bit, and I think we're pretty good. So again, it has this nice flat pattern, and the last one moved up over, so I'm just gonna move this one straight up. Okay, and then convert that to L poly, end isolation, and then I will hide that side. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to maybe something that might be a little more complex. Let's say these laces might be something a little more challenging to do. Okay, so I'm going to, I believe all these laces should be on the same smoothing group, because I want the laces to be nice and smooth. So even though there are 45 degrees, if I do all smooth, it's going to select a bunch of them for me. I don't want that. I actually want them to all be the same smoothing group. So just going to click one, and we're good to go there. So turn off this, and I'm going to select it, and then go to my UV unwrap, and I will just do a quick peel, and you'll see it looks really crazy. And the reason is because we don't have a seam yet. So we have the seams on the side, but that's it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to my edge tool, and you can just select any one of these, double click it, and then hit break. So now that you've done that, you should be able to peel it again, and you'll see this long swooping shape. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I actually want to take the shape. I'm going to first I'm going to relax it a little bit, see if I can get some of this more balanced out. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and let's see how this looks. I'm going to straighten selection, and it looks like it's actually kind of going crazy. Let's see. Okay, peel that again. So the idea here is we want this to be very squared. I'm not getting the results I thought I would. Which is fine. But what we don't want is we don't want this crazy swooping shape. We prefer to have this be a rectangle all around. So I'm going to square selection, and as you can see here, there's some really nice elements as well as some really bad ones. So you can see here this looks pretty good, but then when we get here it starts to look really wonky, and that might be, let's see if I can, so I'm going to just try to make this shape a little closer to what I believe it should be. Okay. Now if I try relax again, I go by edge, angle. Let's see if this does the trick at all for me. It doesn't quite seem to do it. Mainly the reason I believe is because it is all kind of twisted around, as this was a very organic shape. We might be able to let it run for a while and might give me a better result. I don't know if that would be the case, to be honest. But it does look like we're getting some of these kind of, that snake is kind of unwinding itself. So if we let this run for a moment, we might be able to get the result we're looking for. You know, in this final, or in the laces. Okay, so I'm going to, oh shoot, nope. Okay. So I'm using that scale tool, and I'm just bringing this in a hair, hoping to So what I like to have is, see how I have these stripes here. I like to keep that consistent. We're better at the checker pattern here. Okay, so yeah, you can see now it's starting to look pretty consistent. One other thing I would like to mention is there will be, we need to actually break this up a little more, because this will be way too tiny if we were to keep it as is. So what I recommend is, this is one big shape. Let's go and break it up in 3 parts, and ideally we'll break it up in a part that's gonna be hidden a little bit. So I would recommend breaking up here and here, kind of where it would be tucked in. So we're just looking for a seam to break that won't be spotted very easily. Okay, so then we go to the opposite here. Hop that one right there. So these would be the 2 I'm going to break. So if I go my explode, break those 2. And now what I can do is I can pack this like so. And so now we have more manageable shapes to work with. Okay. And really, if you want to, you can even break it up one more time. Let's say if you want to break it up right along along here, or like that might work. Just to split the shape in half, that's perfectly fine too. We just don't want it to be such a long shape that's going to end up being too many shapes to handle, or too long of a shape to handle, I should say. Okay, so once I broke that there you go. So now we have our laces unwrapped, and we'll be converting it to double poly, and then the same process we'll continue. So next I'll do the tongue. With the tongue, let's see, I do believe that I want the tongue to have that shape there. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to convert this to poly, because I do want to maintain this top shape and kind of the smoothness of it. Okay. So now we will go to our smoothing groups. So if we hit polygon selection, we're just going to do auto smooth to start. Okay, let's see. So it gave us a number of smoothing groups. Now I do believe if I were to select this one here, I think I do want, well, for one, what I could do is I don't need all these polygons in this particular shape. So I'm going to actually holding control and delete a few of those. And you can go through, after we've made that initial shape, you can go through and delete some of these unnecessary edges, just to make sure that it's not wasting. There's some here that are wasting some polygons that we probably won't be needing initially, or it won't be really needing a whole lot of. So I'm going to delete some of those. As you see, the shape hasn't changed a whole lot. I just am trying to free up some resources. Maybe this one might be okay to do without. Okay. So now I'm going to go through here actually and just get rid of a few of these other ones that aren't critical to, they're not critical to the overall shape. Okay. And through the toe you'll see that there's several polygons you can do with that as well. Okay. So you see there, kind of, so we want this kind of toe bump here, but if I were to delete this one just to make it not there anymore, you can keep it, or you can, I mean, if it's too dramatic, then go ahead and keep it there, or go ahead and leave it. But if it's something that you don't really see a difference with or without, I recommend getting rid of that. just to save some polygons. I kind of like that one. Okay. Okay, so again, sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. I'm going to go ahead and auto smooth this to give me a good start. What I'm going to do next, I'm going to select these out of this top string of polygons. In fact, I'm going to, let's see. I'm going to hide my hide selection. Let's see if I can. No. Okay, never mind. What I'll do here is I'm going to loop this, and I know that this has to be a different smoothie group, so I'm gonna I'll make that its own smoothing group, and then I want this here to be its own smoothing group. So now if I were to hold Alt and then click the polygon, it'll allow me to let's see. Shoot, I don't want to do that. Okay. I saw that. So I'm going to just select this whole shape. 1 second. So I'm going to do here is I'm going to smooth out this bit. Yeah, so we'll go to the unwrap, see how this smoothing looks here. Again, I'm going to select that shape, by unwrap, and you can see there's some strange UVs already on there. So I'm going to go ahead and select all, and as you can see, it looks really bizarre. I'm going to start by hitting flat by smoothing groups. In fact, let me see. A poly. Let's see if I can try this again. Because it looks like it was selecting something differently. Okay. I see. Okay, so it would have this for whoever had this one already selected, but I don't want that. Yeah, so if I just go to my flat by smoothing groups, you'll see we had the smoothing groups we set. Let's just check and see if there's anything we need to flatten even more so. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and relax these. And there's a few shapes I won't mind tweaking a bit, so the toe looks pretty good here. This shape looks really good. This shape here looks how it should. Let's see if we got that shape looking right, as well as this one. Actually, so those three I'm just going to real quickly. I'm going to move those to the side just so I know that. Just move anywhere is fine for now. We'll repack them in just a moment. Okay, so this one here, this is part of, okay. So I'm going to actually select this whole loop. And then I want this to be peeled together, just a quick peel. And it should already have Yeah, it should already have a seam in there. Seems if there's a seam. Okay, so I'm just going to actually, so it has 3 seams right now, and by selecting all of these, I'm going to put it onto a projection map, my planar map. So now you'll see it looks just like this, and now I can turn my projection map, then do the quick peel, and so it'll once again be a big old loop. And at this point, you have 2 options. One, you can leave it as is, and I prefer, and I think it's a good practice, to go and just find a seam. Turn off your. Yeah, just find a seam. I don't want that one. I think I want something that's actually on the back. One more over. Yeah, right there in the middle back. So I'm gonna break it right there. And now, if I were to select this and hit the straighten selection, it'll be a straight line. And in fact, I probably won't be bad. We'll leave it like that for now. We may need to split that one more time later on. Just pull it to the side. Now I'm going to check on this one here. Okay, that one I probably want to adjust in just a moment. This looks pretty good. Let me see if I to relax it, if I can get kind of that little knot sorted out. Let's try. There you go. So I got that knot sorted out with my quick peel tool. I'm gonna relax it real quick. It looks good. Pull this to the side, and we'll do the same thing. I believe these two are meant to be connected. So what I do now is, again, my projection planar map, which then will connect everything that's on that I just selected. Turn that off. Go to my peel, quick peel, and now you'll see it all connected. And then I can relax it with my tools. Relax, crank them out to 1. Give it a moment. There you go. Now I'm just gonna pull this to the side. So now the last bit we need to work out is right here, and I think this. Well, yeah. So I think that this might be one of those situations where we again do the planar map, turn it off, and relax it. I'm gonna actually turn on the checker pattern real quick just to take a look at how it looks. So now if I were to do my relax settings, under my mount, let's see, start relax. Yeah, I think that this should look pretty good. Keep in mind this kind of tight part right there, it won't really be seen too well since it is tucked underneath. So now if I were to just stop that there. Okay. So as you can see, we have all of our portions look pretty good. I'm going to select everything, and so as you notice, the toe here, it's smaller than this little tongue here, or this little tag, and that's why the squares are so much bigger than these squares in that pattern. So what we do is we're going to select everything here, and now we can so if we were to go to our pack custom, and the same settings I like are check everything, like non-convex padding at 0.01. You pack it in. Now you'll see all that item we just had, that's the same, but the tag is now also the same as far as how large the squares are. Alright, so you can get these a little closer if you like, which I would prefer. And then what we'll do, actually I see those are just the seams on the side here and here. Okay. So now I'm going to take this, and the previous one I believe we went straight. I don't think we went straight up, but I'm going to go up and over one. So we're just, as you can see, we're just kind of wrapping around this center square for later on, for just for organization. Convert Apple Poly, and then I'm going to end isolation mode and hide the tongue. So now we just have a few more portions to unwrap, which I will split this video in half right here. So In the next video, I will finish up unwrapping and then show you how to pack everything together.